growers, my name's Steven and I'm with Team Grobo. Today I'm excited to show you how to unbox and build your new Grobo Grow Box. It can take 90 minutes to fully assemble the unit, so I recommend that you watch this video, pause it along the way, and follow along with your written instructions, step by step. You'll also need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to assemble the unit, and I encourage you to find a large open space and a buddy to help. Today my buddy is Julia, our content creator. She's gonna join me and we're gonna build a unit. Let's get started. Let's dig in. This is taking far too long. You know what? Almost there. Let's build that frame. Building the frame. Step 1. Grab a sidewall and remove the red film on the double-sided tape. Step 2. Have your buddy hold up the back wall and one of the side walls. Line up the holes on the back so the screws will fit in nicely. Pro tip: the user button is on the top left corner when looking at the unit from the back. Step 3. Grab a screw and your Phillips screwdriver and fasten one screw into the opening at the very top corner. Step 4. Put in the 2 bottom screws. Step 5. Now we're going to repeat that same process with the other side wall. Have your buddy grab the other side wall, line up the opening, fasten the screw at the very top corner of the frame, and the lower 2 openings, just like we did on the first sidewall. Step 6. Now we'll grab the wooden base and 4 of its metal feet. Twist them clockwise to attach them to the base. Step 7. It's time to attach the wooden base to the frame. Grab 4 screws and fasten them into the holes on the inside of the frame. Crowsnest installation. Step 8. Grab your buddy and have them assist you in laying the unit horizontally on the floor or a table. At this point, we recommend putting on the supplied gloves, as you never want to touch the PCB board with your bare fingers. Your fingers can have natural oils and debris on them that can damage the board. Step 9A. Grab the crow's nest and lean it against the top of the unit. When looking at the crow's nest, the carbon filter slot should be in the front. When you are adjusting the crow's nest, hold it by the cross-flow fan, as the other parts are quite delicate. Next, ensure that the right and left corners of the crow's nest are inside the metal bend of the top of the sidewall. Once in place, pull the cross-flow fan up so that the crow's nest is level. Step 9C. Once the holes are all aligned, screw in 2 screws on the right and 2 screws on the left of where the carbon filter is. Step 10A. Push the power cable through the rectangular opening and ensure it's flush with the back wall. Now we will be securing that plug. To do so, simply push the crow's nest up so it catches in the groove of the power cable plug. Once it's secure, you'll see the screw holes in the back wall are now aligned. Once they're aligned, simply screw in the 2 screws. Step 11. Flip the unit back upright and let's keep going. User button installation. In steps 12A through E, we remove the nut from the user button cable and slide the cable through the hole connector first. Once you have pushed the cable through the hole, attach the nut again to hold it in place. The nut should be snug so the button doesn't move. The black rubber O-ring should be on the outside of the back wall. Step 13A and B. Now you're ready to connect the cable to the PCB board. The cable plugs into the small white connector that is labeled UBTN on the far right side of the board. Nutrient bottle holder and dosing control panel installation. Steps 14A through C. Rotate this piece slightly to let it go in behind the frame, line up the holes, and fasten 4 screws, 2 on each side. Now that that's in place, we can attach the dosing control box. Step 15, make sure to rotate the part to make it fit behind the sidewalls, and leave the water level shield and hoses behind the panel. We will get back to them. Once it's in place, we're on to step 16. Line up the holes and fasten 2 screws to the front of the box. There will be a small gap between the nutrient bottle holder and the dosing control box. This is normal and required. Drain fill hose installation and water tank installation. Step 17, you'll see that there are 4 hoses, 2 long ones and 2 short ones. Take the long hoses and feed them through the hole on the back wall. Now that the tubes are through the back wall, we can attach the white hose holder, which is step 18. It doesn't matter which tube goes into which hole. Once they are firmly seated, tighten the screw with your screwdriver until the hoses are snug. Once the hose holder has been tightened, let the magnet connect it to the back wall. Now let's pull up to extend it to its full length. It's time to install the water tank. Notice how there's a side with some grooves? This is called the small chamber side, which goes on the left-hand side of the unit. Step 19. Rotate the tank to fit it inside the unit. It should look like this once it's in place. Probe and air stone installation. Now it's time to install the pH and EC probes. Let's do the pH probe first. Step 20. Push and twist the metal end onto the connector labeled pH on the dosing control box. Step 21. Grab the EC probe and attach it to the connector labeled EC on the dosing control box. Step 22. Remove the air stone from its packaging and connect the end with the nozzle to the larger, clear tube attached to the dosing panel. Once the air stone is attached, simply place it into the water tank. Water level sensor shield installation. Step 23, A through C. Pick up the water level sensor shield and place it into a water tank on the left-hand side. Step 24A. Take the drain hose and put it into one of the holes on the water level sensor shield. It doesn't matter which one. Step 24B. You can tell the difference between the drain hose and the fill hose by looking on the dosing panel. Both pumps are labeled. Typically, the drain hose is installed on the left-hand side. Step 24C through F. Attach the filter to the other end of the drain hose and tuck both of them under the water level sensor shield, making sure they are touching the bottom of the tank. Step 25. Now it's time to do the same for the fill hose. Push the fill hose through the other hole on top of the water level sensor shield. Step 26. It's time to attach the pump outlet hoses to the corresponding hole on the water level sensor shield. Simply place each tube through the correct hole and make sure there are no sharp bends in the tube. Internal fan and gray ribbon cable installation. Step 27. Remove the film on the other side of the magnet and stick it to the fan. Step 28. Place the fan on the left side wall inside the unit. Step 29, A through D. Grab the end of the fan cable and slide it through the space between the sidewall and dosing control box. Once it's fed through, put the cable into both twist lock cable holders located on the dosing control box. Step 30. Put on your supplied gloves and plug the end of the fan into the slot between where bottle 3 and 4 will sit. Step 31A and B. Pick up the gray ribbon cable from bag 4 and plug it into the right-hand side of the board. Steps 31C and D. Take the other end of the gray ribbon cable and slide it between the nutrient bottle holder and the sidewall. Step 32A and B. Pull the gray ribbon cable up to the top of the Grobo. Step 32C through F. First plug it into the blue connector on the PCB board. Next, feed the gray ribbon cable through the twisty lock. Step 33. Now you can grab one of the twist lock cable holders and attach it about halfway up the sidewall on the side with the door hinge. Once it's securely attached to the wall, you can feed the black fan cable through it and twist to lock it. You can also put the gray ribbon cable through the twist lock if you wish. Dosing control box, front panel, and inlet hose installation. Step 34, A through C. Grab the dosing control box front panel and rotate it so it fits inside the sidewalls. Lower it into place and fasten it with 2 screws. Step 35A through D. Pull each nutrient bottle inlet hose through to the front of the panel. When looking at the top of each of the 5 nutrient pumps, the inlet hose is closest to the front of the unit. we recommend pushing a loop of the hose through. It's much easier. Door installation. We're almost there, and it's time to install the door. Step 36 A and B. Push the straight hinge pin into the hole in the wooden base, and then place 2 washers onto it. Step 37. Place the door onto the straight hinge pin and the washers. Step 38. Place the flanged hinge pin into the opening that's part of the crow's nest. Step 39. Grab one of the door magnets and attach it to the bottom of the unit on the opposite side to the door hinge. This magnet is super strong, so be sure to be careful with it. This next step is only for growers who purchase the Grobo Premium. If you're building a Grobo Solid, skip on to the next step. Step 40. Pull the cable through the opening between the crow's nest and the sidewall. Next, plug it into the PCB board on the upper left-hand side. Door handle, lock, and wooden top installation. Step 41A and B. Grab the door handle and 2 screws and fasten it to the top of the door. Step 31C through E. Simply grab 2 screws and the door latch and fasten it into place. You may need to move it up or down slightly to get the perfect seal. Step 42A and B. It's time to attach the wooden top. Grab the 4 wood top brackets and fasten them to the wood top. Make sure that the side with 2 holes is attached to the wood and the side with 1 hole is facing out. Once it's lined up, fasten the 2 screws into each bracket. Step 43. Put on your supplied gloves and rest the wooden top on top of the unit. Plug the cable into the upper left-hand corner of the PCB board. Step 44 and 45. Fasten 4 screws into the frame just below the wood top. 2 go in the front and 2 go in the back. Final touches. Step 46 A through C. Now it's time to light-proof the unit. Grab the 4 blue squares of foam and place 2 of them at the top of the unit, 1 on the right side and 1 on the left side. Make sure you push them in a bit so they don't fall out. Now you can put the other 2 at the bottom of the unit. Again, 1 on the left and 1 on the right. Step 47 A through D. Now for the carbon filter. Take it out of its package and slide it into the top compartment. Make sure to put it in with the honeycomb side facing upwards for highest efficiency. Congratulations! You've completed the build of your grow box. The next step is to head over to the Apple or Google Play Store and download the Grobo app. That way you can finish setting up and plant that first seed. If you ever have any questions related to Grobo, reach out to our support team by emailing us at support@grobo.io. We'd be happy to help. We're here for you.